back for another video on the channel. Today we are back with my Sky Bet League 1 predictions 1 to 24. Yes, midway through the season predictions. Well, we're over halfway now with a third of the games left to go. We are looking at the full table 1 to 24. Who wins the league? Who wins automatic promotion? Who gets into the playoffs? Who goes down? Who finishes in the top 10, the top 12? There's a lot on offer from bottom to top. And in last place, I've gone for Carlisle United. Yes, they brought a lot of players in, the likes of Armstrong, Josh Vella, Jack Diamond, Harry Lewis in goal. I think they've strengthened the squad. I think they've taken 20 points from 30 games, which is 0.66 points per game. To stay up, they're going to need around about 30 points from 15 games. You're asking a side that have gone and got 20 points in 30 games to go and get 2 points a game for the next 15 games. And, 15, 16 games, it's not going to be possible. I think they've got a good chance of rebuilding for next season, in Sky Bet League 2. But for me, Carlisle United go down. 23rd place. I wouldn't thought I'd have been saying this a couple of weeks ago. I've gone for Cheltenham, Darrell Clark's Cheltenham. Yes, as much as I think he's done a good job since going in, they hadn't scored in 12. They didn't win for 13, 14 matches. Liam Sericum's come into the side, done well. Tom Pett, they signed Matty Taylor on a long-term deal. Good signing for 6 months, 18 months, 2.5-year deal. Unsure. They brought the likes of Joe Nuttall, who I just don't think is quite good enough for this level. They've got some good players, but firepower. Rob Street out for the season, lost Will Goodwin. I do think Cheltenham will go down this season. 22nd, and it kills me to say I've gone for Fleetwood Town. I do think the Cods will go on a bit of a fighting period. They've got rid of Josh Vella, Jack Marriott, Josh Earl, Kabongo Shamanga. A lot of players that didn't want to be at the football club. Josh Earl's the biggest blowout of them all. He still played to his best right till the end. Josh Vella, I think, was the right move on to move him out of the football club. He was a captain, and you could clearly see, he wasn't quite happy at the football club. We've got a new captain, a new lease of life now. A lot of hungry, players wanting to fight. I think Fleetwood will have the quality, but you'll stop them seeing them winning a couple more games than he was. Unfortunately, the Cod Army are going down. The last place, and now I think anyone currently between 23rd and 13th in the league could potentially go down here. We're only talking about a 3 or a 4 bad game blip when you're down there. Talking about a 3 or 4 game bad blip, Port Vale, they've gone on one, haven't won in 2024, lost 3 of the 4 games this calendar year, and been struggling. The recruitment in January looked okay. The likes of Jensen Weir coming, Reece Williams coming, but had to go back due to injury. Alex Martin's a good signing, but he lost Ollie Orblaster and Alfie Devine. No fault of their own. They lost 2 of the best players. I don't think they've got enough firepower up front. I don't see what Wilson and Loft offer. Enough going forward for the full season. Alex Mighton will add goals and a bit of creativity. I like Chisler. I think he's a great player, but I think Port Vale will go down. Next up, just avoiding the drop, I've gone for Exeter. Yes, I think Exeter will be one of those sides that you saw them go and get 7 points in a week, but they could quite easily go and lose 3 or 4 in a row and go back down there. That's how tight it is. They've brought in enough quality in the January window. Obviously, Gary Caldwell lost, star striker Sam Nombe in the summer window, and then they went on an awful run where I think they lost 8 out of 9 due to Lincoln in there as well. But wins recently have really helped the cause. A point against Cambridge, wins away at Bristol Rovers on a Tuesday night, and winning away at Barnsley. Fantastic pieces of result. I think Exeter will stay up. Reading, I think, will stay up. I think they've got that fight about them. You might lack a little bit of quality, but they've still got some good players in there. You look at your Nibs, your Savage, your Smith, Aziz. Button's an experienced goalkeeper as well. I know they lost 4 or 5 key players, like some McIntyre and Nelson Abbey, to name a couple of them, but they've still got a decent enough squad, and it feels like them against the world. A bit like Everton are in the Premier League right now. I think Reading will be just okay. Just above that, and a team that I think lack a lot of quality that I think could get dragged into the bottom 4 race, but I think they'll just stay up, is Burton. Obviously, Cole Stockton left the football club to join Barrow on loan. They loaned out Walker as well. It's again never really fitted for him at that football club. They have got quality. in the squad. Losing Beverly Labal is a big blow. I like Crocombe. I like Powell. They've got a decent squad. Martin Patterson seems to be very man management style. He'll keep the club up, but I think this season will be a good season just to stay up again. Burton Albion. Just in front of them, I'm going for Shrewsbury. Yes, like goals this season. Brought in Paul Hurst back to the football club. Dan Udo's back scoring goals, got 2 and 2 since Paul Hurst came into the football club. I do think they like goals, but I think they're steady enough to get wins and find results out. And Shrewsbury are that classic club that can go and get 52 to 58 points. They can pull a result out of nowhere, but then not win for 3 or 4 weeks. And that's Shrewsbury for you, but they'll just have enough to stay up. Just in front of those, and these two played on Saturday, Cambridge. Cambridge got the better of them on that day, and I think Cambridge will get the better of them over the course of 46 games. I like Harris. I think he's a really, really good manager. They've added Lyle Taylor. They've added Macaulay Barn. They've got Jack Lancaster, who's a good player. I like the defensive players. The two Bennetts, the Danny Andrews, the Morrisons. It's a good squad, and Cambridge United will stay in League One, I think, quite comfortably this year. Another one, baffling. I think Wycombe will finish above that. Wycombe have got a decent squad. They strengthened really well in the January window. I like Lowe, Joe Lowe. He's a really, really good centre half that they managed to pick up. They've got goals in the squad now. Kone, allowed to play, which is big for them. Voke is a big physical player. Wycombe will be okay. But again, not a good season for the standards that they've set themselves recently. Just in front of that, Charlton, bad run of form. Really are on a bad run of form. We haven't won in, I think it's 9 games at the moment, the longest winless streak in the division. But Nathan Jones just come in. He'll reunite that football club. He'll get the players back on side. And you look at the squad they've got, Connor Coventry, Alfie May, Freddie Ladapo. It's a really, really good squad that, and they'll be just okay. Charlton this year, they'll when they win one, I think they'll go and win 2 or 3 in a row, get themselves above water. Then they'll kind of drag the season out, and it'll be all about next year. Just in front of them, Northampton, great season so far. I think that what John Brady's done in that football club is terrific. The way that they didn't come up a couple of years ago due to the Bristol Rovers situation, and then come up last season, and they've got shining lights in that team. Bowie, good player. Hoskins, Leonard, Mac Williams, Sowerby. Just to mention a few. They've got a really good squad, a really good culture. They do the right things. They do the basics so well. They win games of football. They keep clean sheets. I know they lost 4-1 on Saturday to Portsmouth, but this is a really, really good group that work hard and have got the points on the board. Next up, Bristol Rovers. Yeah, win 1, draw 1, lose 1. Bristol Rovers. They always seem to never be able to find that consistency. They're so consistently inconsistent. That's what I'd say about them. Too many draws at home. Losing Aaron Collins is a blow. I think that'll lose them a few goals, if I'm honest with you. Chris Martin just scored goals. I like that. Aguilera came in on loan at the Costa Rican from Forest. They've got a good squad. They'll be just okay. A lot of experience in there. The likes of Friend and the Hunt. To add to it, a young group as well of players that they've got. They'll be fine just this season. Next up, Wigan Athletic. I predicted Wigan would be 13th at the start of the season, and I think I've gone too harsh. This Wigan group have got 1.5 points per game this season at home, at home and away, sorry. And they've managed to, keep up that consistent run, managed to win games of football, managed to, be one of the best sides in the division at home this season, in the top 6 for home form. Really, really strong. Thelo Weisgaard is a terrific footballer. They've lost Callum Lang, which is a blow, lost Charlie White, but they don't need them because they can reset, boost the budget for next season and really go at it. 10th, Lincoln City. Now they've won a game against Burton. I think they'll go and win 3 or 4. I really do. I think they can fly to 50 points now. Ethan Erahan, Ethan Hamilton, are good players at this level. Rico Hackett I've been impressed with. Obviously, he had a large spell out injured. Freddie Draper's come back into the fold. Jack Moylan's come into the football club as well. Taylor up front has looked a big handful as well. They're defensively solid, like Alex Mitchell. He's a solid player. They've had Conor McGrandles. He's a typical squad between 9th and 13th in the division, Lincoln, and they do the basics very well. 9th, Richie Wellens. Leyton Orient, really like this group, good core, good squad. Your Rusa Torus, your Ethan Galbraiths. I know Jordan Graham's out for the rest of the season pretty much. They've managed to keep that winning streak up. Ford has been terrific in recent weeks as well. El Mazouni is a terrific midfielder as well. Darren Prattley adds experience. I watched them against Carlisle, early in the season at Brunton Park, and I was fully impressed. They did the basics so well in transition. They were terrific, and they're still unbeaten in 2024. And they won 5 out of the last 7, keeping 5 clean sheets. They're a good side, and they're a real handful. Leyton Orient 9th, and when you look at it, Leyton Orient, Bristol Rovers, Northampton, Wigan, all in that area, they're all good teams. That just shows you the standard of the playoff group. 8th. I've gone for Blackpool. Now, Blackpool, I think, will be 8th in the division, but I think they'll be 5 points in front of Orient, but I think they'll be 5 or 6 behind the next. This is where I think the biggest gap in the table is. Blackpool have a decent squad. The Dembele's is a good player. CJ Hamilton just signed a new deal, good player. Cal Joseph, Jordan Rhodes, Pennington, good player. Grimshaw's a good goalkeeper at this level. I think at home, they're a joy to watch. One of the best sides in the division, 2 points per game. However, away from home, the way they play with 3-4-3 or 3-5-2, however you want to shape it, 3-4-1-2, they're basically playing with wingers as fullbacks. I know Coulson's coming from Middlesbrough on loan. I think they're a bit vulnerable away from home. They've only got 2 more points than Fleetwood, who are joint second bottom of the league. In total, they only got 2 more points away from home than Fleetwood, which is poor. If Blackpool just played the home game to be right up there, but for me, they lack a little bit of quality of the next 7. Oxford United are 7th, and I had them in this situation early in the season. And with Oxford, they've strengthened really well. They're taking Owen Dale off Blackpool, taking it off a rival hand player. They've added Jay Matete, who's a good player, gifted, good with the ball, strong, naturally gifted as well. Harris has got going. He's got 5 and 6 in this calendar year as well. Obviously, they've lost, the goalkeepers, which is Beadle, and then they've lost Cumming, who coming on loan, and now they're left with Simon Eastwood, who's an experienced goalkeeper at this level. More at the back, I think he's 400 appearances against Blackpool, which is a terrific milestone for him and the football club. It's a really good team, but I just think they'll fall short. And if they had Liam Manning in charge, they'd be in the playoffs. That is the difference. 6th. Steve Evans, tricky Stevenage. They don't play football though, but I'll tell you what they do. They win games of football. 15 games they've won this season, of which 9 have been by a 1-goal scoreline. They've won by 2 on 2 occasions and won by 3 on 4 occasions. And on the times they've won by 1 goal, 6 of which they've won 1-0. That shows to me the tight games, they're a big physical team. They win the duels. They do the basic so well. They scrap, they fight, and Steve Evans has got them, got their heart playing for that football club, playing for the badge. 2 years ago, he walked into the football club in a mess. We've gone with Barnsley. Yes, good side Barnsley, do the basics so well, win games of football, manage to get over the line, go away from home, be better away from home than they are actually at home. The only issue with Barnsley, they're a bit inconsistent now and again. There is a bad performance in there, whether it's against Blackpool or Peterborough or Oxford or Exeter recently as well. There's a bad performance in there. I do think they'll comfortably get in the playoffs, and I think that if they got into the playoffs, I'd fancy them to get to Wembley again. 4th, this is where it gets really tricky, because I think there'll be 4 points or less, 4 or 5 points or less in this kind of period or this pack between 1st and 4th. I really do. 4th, I've gone for Peterborough. This is a young squad. Average age of about 23. I'm looking at the likes of Jed Steer, who's not going to probably play that much. Your Johnson Clark-Harris, who isn't going to play that much. Off the field players, your Bill Okapovic, he's a good goalkeeper, but again, young. Kipriano, he's a bit experienced. But then I'm looking at your Ronnie Edwards, your Pokus, your Mason Clarks, your Joe Randalls, your Ricky J. Jones, your Knights as well, who's played over 100 times. So a really talented squad. I believe Ronnie Edwards is the most talented player in the division. If you had to ask me as a single player, I think he'll end up being an England international. He'll play over 100 times in the Premiership. He's only 20. It's a good team. I just think Peterborough will finish 4th. I think that, again, loss at the weekend to Wigan. I still have them 4th at the start of the month. They didn't. I could thought if they would have kept PK at right back, this might be a different story. 3rd, Derby. I've not been blown away any time I've watched Derby. And Paul One doesn't go about blowing teams away. He goes about winning games of football. He goes about getting the job done, winning 1-0 or 2-1, however it's done. Blackett Taylor's a goal scorer. Mendes Lang has been terrific this season. I think it's 17 goal contributions. James Collins doesn't do a lot other than score goals, but he scores, he'll score 15 to 20 goals this season. Aaron Cashin's just signed a new deal. Max Bird returns to the football club. Conor Horahan, it's an experienced team. And I feel that Derby with that team have to go up this year if they're going to go up. Top two then. Portsmouth second. The fantastic. Good to watch. Good team. Good core. John Messinio has done a good job. Really has done a good job there. He's reunited the football club. He's got the fans back on side. He's got the players smiling again. Paddy Lane, Callum Lang, Colby Bishop, Miles Pert Harris, McIntyre, to add to already, a Connor Shotnessy. He's a very, decent centre half at this level. Conor Ogilvie, is a good player as well. They've got a really, really good team there, and they do the basics so well. 9 wins at home, good away from home, whether it's losing positions or getting a goal, they get the job done now. And that blip they had around Christmas, where they didn't win for 4 or 5. I think it was 1 win in 5 against Stevenage. Since then, beat Fleetwood, Port Vale, and Northampton. In that period, they're going to finish second and get the job done. 7 years in League One is finally over for Portsmouth, in my opinion. Top of the table, Bolton Wanderers. Now, I don't like changing my mind too much. When I try and stick with something, I'll stick with it. And after 3 games of the season, I said Bolton Wanderers will win the league, and I still stand by that. They are 5 points behind Portsmouth with 3 games in hand, and they've got to go to Wigan in that game in hand, Cambridge in that game in hand. So it's tricky fixtures, it really is. But this Bolton side know how to win games. Adding Aaron Collins, adding, someone of his stature, really, really, really good, good bit of business there. Dion Charles will come good in the back end of the season, I believe. Bod Varlson will add goals. I know he's not a naturally given goal scorer, but he does so much other than score goals. Midfield, Dempsey, really like as well. Morley, Thomason, defensively solid as well. They're getting better as games go on now. I think this Bolton side can squeak over the line and win this title. It's going to be close, but Bolton Wanderers will win the league, in my opinion. So thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe. This is your home of Sky Bet League One content, whether it be a live stream, whether it be videos like this, prediction videos, reaction videos. It's all things Sky Bet League One, no matter what happens with Fleetwood Town. We are so close now to 13,000 subscribers, and I need your help. Please keep liking. Please keep subscribing. Let me know your predictions down below. And until next time, I will see you later. Up the Sky Bet League One.